Right, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the virtual village hall craft afternoon. Right, this afternoon then we are going to be making some of these little mini Christmas lampshades. Okay, so you can see that these have got some braiding around them in different colours. And just in case you don't want to go to that expense, I've also got some made here with some glitter on instead. Okay, so you can just about see those, different type of paper. Okay, and it's got a little bit of glitter on the ends. Okay, now as you can see, these make a really nice Christmas present as well. So if you want to get a bit of crafting going on before Christmas, you can get a little box like this and some nice tissue paper. Makes a lovely little present for somebody. So I'm going to be making these this afternoon using some card. So I bought some different types of crafting paper. So they cost about 30 pence, 50 pence per sheet. So I'm going to use about 3 sheets this afternoon. But if you don't want to go to the expense of buying anything, you could always use some Christmas cards like this. So I've got this here. It's a little bit smaller than what I would normally make the lampshade from. But as you can see, it's got a lovely picture here. So we can cut across here. If you've got a set of cards, something like this, you could curl them up the same as I'm going to be showing you now. And that would make a really super set of lampshades. Okay, so to get started then, I'm going to move my lampshades out of the way. So, as I said in my video earlier, you need to make sure you've got a ruler and a pencil handy, and some scissors as well. Some paper scissors are fine, and some little paper fasteners. These are the sort that you can pull apart, like so, and open out to secure them. You'll need a hole punch as well, something like this. I've got a little posh one, which I use quite often. It's really good for getting through different types of materials. And also, if you're going to do the glitter version, which I'll show you after I finished doing the braided sort, get yourself a little bit of glitter. So I like to keep mine in a tin like this. It keeps it nice and handy. Stops it going everywhere. A little bit of PVA glue, a little bit of glue, and something to spread it with as well, is quite useful. Right, I'm going to start out by making a little card template. So, a template is a really easy way of making sure that you cut out all of your little mini lampshades exactly the same size. So I usually make myself like a plastic one made out of some polypropylene. But for you, you might have some spare cardboard at home in your recycling bin or recycling box that you keep in the house. So I'm going to measure these, and they're going to be 5 centimetres in width by 18 centimetres in length. So I'm going to get my steel rule, okay, and I'm going to place the steel rule on the end of the cardboard, if you can just see that. And then I'm going to measure down 5 centimetres, just put a little mark, so I've got the width there. If you want to make them a little bit wider, you can make them at 7 centimetres. Okay, so either one of those is fine. I'm going to make finish making my garland, which I started earlier, so I'm going to make them at 7 centimetres. I'm then going to put the ruler on the end of the card alongside that mark I've just put, and I'm going to measure up to 18 centimetres, which is there. Now I'm going to just draw that line in, and then take the ruler across. Again, if I put the steel rule right up against the edge of the cardboard, it's going to make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so that's my template that I've made for myself. Right, I'm going to now get some scissors, so some paper scissors. Don't want to ruin your fabric scissors if you've got any. If you're anything like me, I hide mine away from my husband. Otherwise, I find that he uses them in the garden for cutting all kinds of things. Okay, So we've got our template to start with, and then you can always write on it as well, mini lampshade template, and you can keep that to use again. Right, so we've got quite a few people joining us now. Now, don't worry if you miss this live video. Obviously, it'll still be stored on the virtual village hall. I've also put on my Facebook page, my Shedlight Facebook page, an instruction sheet. So you can have a look at that there, download it and print it if you've got a printer. Right, okay, so back to the template now. So the advantage of using the template is that we can make sure we cut out all of these shades the same size. So I'm going to place the pattern side face down on my workboard here, and then I'm going to line up the edges of the template with the edges of my card here, and then I'm just going to draw around it. Okay, so this makes it really nice and easy, saves you having to keep measuring all the time. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to make one of these today, because obviously it's the same process for all of them. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. Okay, and then when I'm at it, I'm also going to cut out the nice little deer one on the card to show you. This isn't quite the right measurement for what I would like. So I'm just going to place that over the top, make sure I get all the bits of the reindeer in that I wanted to. And then if I just use my pencil and just draw across like so. Okay, so make sure I'm happy with that band and I can cut across. And then obviously if you've got a pack of 12 cards, then you're going to end up with 12 LED lights. Okay, so these lights that I buy are from IKEA. I'll just show you the little box. Okay, and they're £3 that you can buy from them. Really useful, but you might have some in at home already in your Christmas decoration box. Okay, so the next stage then. We're going to put some holes in either end of these so that we can, when we roll it up, we can secure it together. Now, if you've just got a hole punch like this, what I've done, can you see these little marks on the front here, like so, okay? So what I've done is just mark where the blades come down so I know where to position this on the card. So if I just close that slightly, you might just see the blades coming down. So I've got a little mark here and here to show that. So I'm going to fold the card over carefully so that I don't press it on this like nice rounded edge. And I'm going to join those short edges together, make sure that they're matching. Okay, just hold that nice and lightly. And then I'll show you first of all with this and then with the my other hole punch afterwards. So you're going to aim to get a hole punched about 1/3 of the way down into the card shade, okay, both sides, so this side and this side, and about 1.5 centimetres in from the edge. That's so that we get a really good secure hold with all those clips that we're going to put in. Right, so if I use this first of all, so if I push this in, so it's approximately 1/3, so if I could just hold it like that so that you can see. Okay, and then I'm going to push it so that the card goes right to the back, as if you were punching holes in a sheet of paper. And if I just show you that bit there, can we see that I'm approximately about 1/3 of the way down. Now, the beauty of making these is you don't have to be 100% accurate. Okay, because it's all sort of hidden afterwards. Okay, so just give that a nice firm punch, and then you can see I've got the first set of holes there. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that process then at the bottom here. So if I use my other hole punch, so with this hole punch, there's a little mark there, which is to do with the actual cutting part. That makes a really handy mark to show where to position it. So I'm going to place that over the top of my card. I'm going to line it up with the other hole that I've got already and just punch through. Okay, so I've got 2 holes there. Right, one is just slightly out, but don't worry about that if that happens, okay, because the fasteners, the paper fasteners that we use are quite forgiving. Right, once we've done that, we're then going to roll this between our thumb and our hand, okay, so this is a really good technique to use. So holding it firmly at the bottom with your thumb and your index finger, and you've got the card between your thumb and your index finger on the other hand. Okay, we're going to roll the hand up and round like that. Okay, and that starts to curve your card shade. Okay, so just a few times, and I turn it round and I do it the other side as well, just so that we get a really, really nice curve. So you can do that a few times. Okay, once I've done that, and I'm quite happy with the shape that I've achieved. Okay, so we're aiming to get a nice tubular shape. I'm going to roll the card round so that the holes align, and pick up your paper fastener. And to make it easier for you, you can just see there that one is slightly longer than the other. So if you just pull that apart slightly, just makes it a little bit easier once it's gone inside. Okay, so that's pulled apart. So I'm going to put that back together, put the paper fastener into one of the holes. Okay, so that's just gone inside there like that. And then if I put my fingers either side of the hole inside, okay, if you can just see there. Okay, and I'm just going to put my finger inside, if you can see that, inside the 2 pieces of the paper fastener, and just press it down, and then push it down with my other fingers inside, and then press it from the outside then with the thumb. Okay, so that is really nice and firm. It's got a good fit to it. Now then, the other hole then is where we're going to attach the LED light through. So it's a lot easier if you wait until we've put the braiding on and the glitter before we attach it to the LED light string. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to show you how to attach the braiding. So I've got some bits of braiding already cut ready. So this braiding costs, it's called mini bobble braiding, and it's around about £1 a metre. So the LED light string uses in total about 4 metres of braiding. So I've got some red and some green, so sort of gone for sort of a festive look really. I've already got some of these made, as you saw earlier. So this particular colour card that I'm using the red braid on that, okay? So to attach it then, I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Okay, so I've got the double-sided tape here. So you can get double-sided tape in Hobbycraft. I think they probably do it in B&Q as well. If you haven't got any double-sided tape, you don't want to go to the expense of doing that, then you could use some PVA glue. When you attach the braiding onto it, then you can use a peg. So if I just demonstrate that before I put that one on for you, getting a little bit stuck here. So attach your glue all the way around, and you put the braiding on, and then to hold it in place while it dries, if you put a few pegs handily placed all around the edge, and it will be dry in about 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to be using the double-sided tape because I find it a lot easier. Okay. So if we just match up that hole. Okay, so I've lost the hole there. There it is. And I'm going to bridge across the join to make sure that I get a really firm enclosure. Okay, so I'm going to start here then, right across where that join is, if you can just see that. Okay, so put the double-sided tape on, nice and flat, and then just run it along the top or the bottom of your shade, and just pressing it down as I'm going along. Okay, and then when I get to the beginning, okay, so I've got back to the beginning, I want to butt this up against it, so I don't want it to overlap, because with a double-sided tape I've got to remove that pink plastic off from the top. So just use some scissors then and just trim that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So bridge over the join again, like so. Okay, and then take it all the way round back to where we started from. Okay, just cut that again. Okay, and now if I get my 2 pieces of braiding ready, and I seem to have lost one of them, so I'll cut one of those anyway and make sure that you know how to cut them. Okay, so I'll just show you how to cut them first. So going back to the ruler, you're going to need 15 centimetres of braiding to go all the way around the outside here. So if you just unravel a little bit, okay, it is a little bit stretchy, so be careful you don't stretch it too much, otherwise you'll end up with too much braiding. So I'm just going to place the end of the braiding on the 150 mark, and then just gently bring it down to the end of the ruler, and I'm going to cut it mid-bobble, sort of the gap between the bobbles there, and just use my fabric scissors for that. Okay, and just snip that. And then if I go back to my little shade again, so I'm now going to just remove the tape. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky this sometimes. So this is the backing on it. So you just need to pull a little bit of the sticky bit back, and then the top part should just peel off like that. Okay. Right, so this is nice and sticky now. You might just be able to see it shiny there at the top. Now then, when you come to put the braiding on, the bobble braiding, it's not really a wrong side and a right side. It just shows a bit more prominently on one side. So if you look at that side, we can see the bobbles really sort of plump, and on the other side, not quite so plump. So if you just sort of carefully examine it before you start. And I'm going to attach the flat piece of the braid onto the shade. Okay, so I'm going to start again where the join is, and I'm going to start with the braiding just before the join, so that helps to secure it even more. So just put that on. So, okay, I'm also laying it on so that the little bobbles stand proud of the shade, which makes it look quite attractive. So just gently bring it all along that double-sided tape. Okay, and then it's going to join up then where we started from. Okay, and that's nice and quick, and it secures it really, really well. Okay, so I'm going to scrape back the plastic backing on the other end. Okay, this is always a little bit fiddly. That's it. If you haven't got long nails, then you could use a pin or a pair of tweezers to pull that off. I usually find that helps as well. Okay, and then I'm going to secure the other end as well. So again, I'm going to bridge that gap here, okay, so where they join together. So I'm going to just double check my bobbles first. Yep, I've got that the right way around. So I've just placed it so that it's about 1 centimetre after the join. Okay, and I'm going to bring that across. Okay, and then just butt that again up against where I've started from. Now then, to get the lampshades to fit onto the LED light, okay, it's a really good idea to use your pencil in the hole just to widen it a little bit. So push your pencil in and just give it like a little bit of a twirl, like so, okay, and that just makes it easier to put onto the LED light. So this is my string that I made earlier, so I've just got one left to show you. So then I'm going to push the LED light into the hole. Okay, so put your fingers either side of the hole inside, and then you can push towards the bulb as you're trying to push the bulb in, and that helps to stop the lampshade from collapsing. Okay, so this one needs a little bit more of a push, so I'm just going to give that a bit more of a twirl. So if you're having a bit of difficulty with it, sometimes you just need to wiggle your pencil around like that. Okay, I'm going to try again. Okay, so that one's gone in nice and easily now. So that completes your shades. Okay, so I've got a nice string. And what I went for with this, you can see I've got 4 different types of papers. So I really like vintage things, so I went for sort of a vintage look Christmas theme. And I also thought that it's not too Christmassy, that I could keep it out all year round. Looks nice on top of a bookcase or on top of a mirror, or on top of your bed or dressing table, anywhere like that really. Looks really pretty. And the batteries, if you get good quality batteries, they last quite a long time. So now to move to the other type of lampshades. Okay, so again, I made these previously, but I've got one that hasn't got any glitter on. So I'm going to show you how to apply the glitter to this. Okay, so I'm just going to get these out. Okay, I'm spreading glitter everywhere. Okay, so this is already attached. I'm just going to remove it just to make it a little bit easier to work on. So I'm going to need a little bit of PVA glue. Only needs a little tiny bit, so I'm just going to pour some into the lid of my container. And then I've got a glue stick. I'll just get my glitter out as well. Okay, so just use a little glue stick, or if you haven't got a glue stick, you could use a cotton bud or a paintbrush even. So I'm just going to hold that together whilst I apply a little bit of glue. So small amount of glue, you don't need too much. Okay, so I'm just going to take off the excess, and then I'm just going to brush that then around the edge, all the way around. Turn that round. So this paper, I bought this in a craft shop. It's not really that Christmassy, but I really like the pattern on it. Okay, so then I'm going to dip that then into my pot of glitter and just move it around so that the glitter attaches. Okay, and then just give it a little bit of a shake, remove any excess. Just double check to make sure that you've covered everything that needs to be done. Yep, so we've got that on one end there, look, see? Right, and then I'm going to work on the other side now. Okay, so a little bit more glue around here. I'm just matching the holes as I'm working. And the glue's going on quite well. I'm dropping glitter everywhere as I'm working as well. So I got this glitter from eBay. Again, it was only about £1 for a packet. You may have some glue at home if you do little bits of crafting. This is also a great craft to do with your children, especially sort of age 8 and above. I've done quite a few workshops in the past with children that young when they've been accompanied by an adult, and they've really enjoyed making them. Okay, so we can see that we've got a nice bit of glitter on the end of that, so it looks really quite pretty, catches the light as well, makes it look sort of really Christmassy. Also, if you've got any buttons spare at home, you could always glue, if you've got a hot glue gun, or you could even use a little bit of double-sided sticky tape. You could put that on top of the paper fastener here and put a nice fancy little button on the top. That looks good as well. So I'm going to pop that back onto my string of lights. Okay. Ideally, you want to wait sort of 20 minutes for this to dry because I'm getting a little bit stuck in the glue here. And then just push that through. Okay, right. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. Now, as I've said, you can go to my Facebook page, which is Shed Light, and I've put a copy of these instructions on there that you can have a look at, or you can watch this video again. Okay, if you do make some, I'd love to have a look. So if you'd like to post them on my Shed Light page, that would be fantastic. And happy crafting and enjoy your Christmas. Bye.